Everyone, it's very early here. 5 o'clock. It's snowing, and we may be getting up to 5 inches of snow. Schools are all canceled here in this county, and it'll be fun again. Kids will have their. Yesterday, I had all of my grandchildren here, and they heard that school was not going to happen. They're all going, "Yay!" And I bet you they all got their snow clothes out again. Oh, so much fun. We ended up cleaning the yard yesterday a little. Well, with big dogs, you got to go through and pick up the poop. And then we did we broke down all the cardboard, got that ready for recycling, and we made a fire. Yes, so it was a lot of fun. Everybody enjoyed each other. Um, yes. Another thing I'm doing is got into it again. For some reason, my oldest granddaughter really likes to show hoarders. It seems like everybody in our family really likes this show or mesmerized by the show on the amount of stuff that people acquire and the dysfunction that goes with it. But I just watched one where a lot of things were donated and then given back to the community, and oh my gosh, regardless on how I don't understand the mindset of people who do that or that's how they deal with their problems. It was absolutely beautiful. It was just the tears started just rolling down my cheeks and okay, and I thought of on how often most of the way that I paid my bills this and that I was employed somewhere. Yes. But I made a lot of things too. I crafted a lot of stuff, this and that. I made a little bit of money on that as well. But it was always hard for me to ask for money, or with my herbs, it's always hard for me to ask for money for anything that I made or or was given to me. And so all my life, I've given a lot of stuff away. If someone says, "Oh, I really need this," or said, "Hey, I got one," just take it. Uh, and somehow that always felt right to me, yeah? Rather than how can I get $1 out of that, right? Yes. Uh, the most of my yard sales wasn't necessarily about making money. It was just finding a home for all this stuff that I don't want to really throw away because I thought it was still good too. Just like, okay, these hoarders will go, but it's all good stuff. Okay, in the way that they end up, no, it's not good stuff anymore. Of course, I never lived like that. Yeah, though I had a couple of people move in with me at one point where I had to say, whoa, this is not going to be good. And I would have to step and say, either you go through this and throw away what that is no good, or I will. And oftentimes, guess what? I would. And they'd all be, hey, that's my stuff. I said, not in my house, it isn't. If it's causing problems, right? Yes. Never had a snake in the house until. Uh, there are a couple other things that happened. I have to say that has never happened before until, right? And then I have to step in. Done. Right? Yes? Okay. So, uh, it would. But Gus over there, he's dreaming something. But watching this show where this woman ended up donating so much, and there's all this good stuff, right, to the community, giving back to the community. The community also came together. It's a really tiny little place somewhere in Alaska, uh, to come and help her out as well. Yes. And she had a teenage son. It looked like some of the teenagers were his friends, and they came to help out. One thing, of course, every time, it's how embarrassing it has to be for these people to get on TV, but they're getting the help. The really interesting thing, too, that most of them think, well, they're just going to come and clean up, right? Yes, but I get to keep all my stuff until someone says, no, that's not how it works. Anyway, I think it's a great show. It's a great show to just watch. I am not going to get ever to that point, right? Yes, or inspire me to, well, gotta start cleaning up here because this is just getting worse, worse, and worse. Sometimes I think this is not my problem, so I'm not going to get involved, right? And then I watch something like this, I'm going, I better get involved. I can't let someone just, right? Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm taking a risk when I do that by upsetting people, right? Well, where's that one screw that I had? Well, I don't know. Would you have been able to find it actually in this mess? I'm just saying. Sometimes, even though it's not necessarily appreciated in a way, when I look at some things and I project forward, I see a problem, even if it's someone else's problem, right? I step in. I really do. I try to and encourage, not just do the work myself, but to encourage. And I found sometimes that when I start doing that, then okay, you just step aside. I'm gonna continue here, right? The other person, and I'm going, okay. Yeah. However, uh, so again, yes, sometimes I'm going, it's not my problem. So why do I worry about their space? I'm going to worry about my space. And then I have to say, no, because I see where this is going, and this is not going in a good direction. So, no, well, I am going to step in. And I am going to encourage. And of course, all you can do is be, and I kind of learn from the psychiatrists that are on here or the therapists, I do learn from them as well on how to approach someone uh, with a problem, and kind of also, do that reverse psychology where you try to make it their idea. Oh, it was your idea. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. All right, enough of that. It's just that last one that I watched. It was just so, the end was absolutely rewarding to have watched it. And yeah, if anyone that ever watches this who is a hoarder, these shows and seeing people on how they end up, okay, I don't feel in any way to want to judge that. And in the sense of, oh my gosh, really? Are you serious? How could you live like this? Especially when it comes to the trash, right? Yes, of course I'm going, how could you live like this? But it doesn't go into, oh, now I'm going to avoid you. Oh, now, oh, you are not worth to be around or this or that. It's nothing like that. And I think most of the people out there, they do, when they watch these shows, they do feel like that as well. So the embarrassment over and how people would think out there about you is not there. It isn't like that. So if do get help. Do try to, yes? And don't hide it. It's silly to hide these kind of things and live in misery like that. Just saying, yes? It's not worth it. If we are truly God's people, then we should understand each other's different ways of not being able to cope and then cope in a way that is not really coping, just causing more stress and problems, but many different ways. Yeah, there's many different ways in how that happens, and then how it can get out of control. Yes. All right, and then there is how much are you actually a survivalist? Right? There's different ways of trying to survive, but then when there is a problem, you say, "Whoa." I survived one part of my life, but now I created something. Now I have to survive that. Right? Yes. One should just be honest with oneself. That's one of those big things, right? To be honest with oneself. The commandment, thou shalt not lie. It's not just not lying towards others, but especially not lying to ourselves when it comes to our circumstances. Yes? Yeah. Anyway, so having said that, I have a lot to say. We are in the book of Proverbs in 2. Wisdom, a safeguard against bad company. It sounds like to me, again, there is like these two sides. It's never just, can we just stay on the side of goodness? I don't want to talk about the bad side. Why do I have to do that in order to make the good side look better? Yes? Seems like in Proverbs, as far as I can, wisdom, a safeguard against bad company. That's what wisdom is about? Again, so that I recognize bad company. Uh-huh. Okay. But is it really going to be described as that in here? Let's see. Right? Wisdom, a safeguard against bad company. My child, if you take my words to heart, if you set store by my commandments, tuning your ear to wisdom, tuning your heart to understanding. Yes, if your plea is for clear perception, if you cry out for understanding, if you look for it as though for silver, search for it as though for buried treasure, then you will understand what the fear of Yahweh is and discover the knowledge of God. Okay. For Yahweh himself is giver of wisdom. From his mouth issue knowledge and understanding. He reserves his advice for the honest. That is not true. A shield to those whose ways are sound. He stands guard over the paths of equity. He keeps watch over the way of those faithful to him. Then you will understand uprightness, equity, and fair dealing. Okay. The paths that lead to happiness. So the path of that will lead to happiness, number one, is fear God and to be aware of everyone else. To be aware and beware of everyone else. Really? That's kind of how I understand this. As I say, it's already going in a direction where I'm going, okay, so am I a bit of a overly cautious on how someone is trying to get into my head? Okay, that's your wisdom. Your wisdom may not be the same as mine on how I acquired wisdom. Yes? Yeah. And so I'm always a little, okay, no, I do not. I'm not going to clutter my heart to mind, even my surroundings, with someone else's idea on what certain things are when it comes to living appropriately, what appropriate behavior is. And when it comes to religion and doctrine, I am doubly careful. Yes? Yeah. Believe it or not, but religious beliefs are probably one of the most damaging things that I have come across out there. Yes, I have. Difficult to understand? I think if people are honest to themselves, they'll have to say, yep, that's true. Yes? Okay. All right. Let's keep going. So, right away I'm going, yeah, whatever. Sounds good, but not sure for whose benefit. I don't think for, okay. When wisdom comes into your heart and knowledge fills your soul with delight, then prudence will be there to watch over you. That's okay. And understanding will be your guardian to keep you from the way that is evil, from those whose speech is deceitful, from those who leave the path of honesty to walk the roads of darkness. Okay, I don't agree with the to walk the roads of darkness because that's not visible. Okay, yes, I know where they're going with this and what that actually means. But the thing is until then, I had to say, yeah, and that goes for everyone out there. Yes, where, yeah, what are you actually telling me? Yeah. Yes, okay. Even though they're very good people, they're very supposedly honest people, and they most likely are. Again, how much are we brainwashed into thinking about certain things? Rather than go, no, I'm not going to use that selfish kind of way because then what am I doing to somebody else out there? Yes? Yes? True? Those who find their joy in doing wrong, joy in doing wrong, and their delight in deceitfulness, whose tracks are twisted and the path that they tread crooked. Okay, again, then I have to say, how would they know that? How does someone who doesn't do wrong know that the ones who are doing wrong find joy in it? That they delight in their deceitfulness. How would they know those emotions or these feelings by doing wrong? Then they must have done it themselves. Because I just said, but how would I know that? I don't know that. Do they find that much joy in doing that? Eh? I know there's a need for some people out there to do certain things. I'm going, why are you doing that? Stop! Yes? My oldest granddaughter said something yesterday. She said, while we were making the fire, I have no idea how she even got to that, how that came to her mind. She said, Rosie, the worst thing I can think of is that somebody would burn a baby. Burn a baby? Where did you get that? Yes, I said. What I said, yeah, it's even worse when they're burning them alive. Oh yeah, well that's accelerating that. Well, the thing is that she's already onto a certain truth. Though the thing is again, is that still happening out there? I don't know. One hears some awful things. And what did we read here in the Bible? Some time back, where babies were offered as a sacrifice to this one dark dude. Yes, horrible. The Israelites did that. Here's my oldest granddaughter. We're having a fire. We're under fire, and suddenly she comes up with that. Yes, interesting. Well, anyway. But her saying that too, I know that her heart to mind is in the right place. She's thinking. She's not even adult yet. And she feels that just how horrible that would be to do that to a child, to a baby. Yes? Anyway. To keep you, too, from the woman who belongs to another. That's the guy who had... This comes from the guy, Solomon, who had 1,000 wives and concubines. You can't tell me that he didn't take some other guy's woman every so often. I'm just saying. From the stranger with her wheedling words. She has left the partner of her younger days. She has forgotten the covenant of her God. Her house is tilting towards death. Down to the shades go her paths. Of those who go to her, not one returns. They never again regain the paths of life. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about here. Thus you will tread the way of good people, persisting in the paths of the upright. For the land will be for the honest to live in. The innocent will have it for their home, while the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the faithless rooted out of it. Yeah, okay. That's, again, just giving permission to start whatever and decide over the life of other people. But there it is. There is too. Lots of wisdom to be had. Not so much, but there's some. There was some good stuff. It's just, again, it's good by itself. But when it comes to the whole context, it's again, what agenda is going on here? There is one going on. Not interested in that agenda, really, when it comes down to it. So, but it might get better, right? Yes, let's hope. I find it interesting on how people decide on how God actually feels. God, how he feels, how he, our heavenly parent, has designed things on, and that is how it's working, and that is how it has to work. And I say, well, why are you assuming things? Right? Well, there are so many assumptions here, in my opinion, right, about how God feels and what he's going to do or not do. Yet I do know the 10 Commandments, and that supposedly came directly from God. Yes? And if you look at them, what's wrong with them? There's nothing wrong with them to have a good foundation, to follow them, have a good foundation for everyone. Yes? Yeah? As a society to live together, start a family, blah blah blah. It's all good stuff. There's not one that has this. Well, why is that even in here? Yes. So there you go. Um, that is why I don't understand why. Yes. Um, one makes these assumptions about God, on how he feels about it, what he's going to do, and this is the judgment about it, this, that, and wisdom will tell you, and who said that? And what was his life actually like? Right? So again, let's do as I say, not as I do. And that is why I don't give much credence to this stuff. I just don't. Don't believe, to be brainwashed into thinking this way because it was given by someone that I can't look up to. And well, how do I not assume things about God? Because I look at my surroundings. I search deep within myself about the presence of God, and it's completely different than how I was taught, more or less, by the church. Not my mom. My mom had that loving way of giving God's and Jesus' guidance. Yes. But the church? No. Then the church another church I got into, got great guidance there too. Yes. But when it comes to looking up to the ones that are the leaders, this, that, no, don't get me wrong. I love true parents. But they're my brother and my sister, just like everyone else. And we all go our path of restoration. Yes? Yeah. So, in any case, so that's what I wanted to give today, my wisdom. And again, do this for the reputation of God, and to not assume on how he treats one person better than another, or one person is more elevated than another. That's not how our Heavenly Parent thinks about. If you believe in that, then I don't know if I want to be your child. I'm just saying. All right, that is it. May Heavenly Parent bless, protect you, guide you, embrace you with love, and I will talk to you all another time.